Hey everybody, it's Eddie Joe on Crypto. Hope you're having a great day. Good morning to my friend Deanna out on the West Coast. She works in neonatal out there. So I just wanted to say good morning. Good morning to Mona too. A few other friends out there. I'll get to name some of you sometimes. Um, there's a lot going on, and I just couldn't get through it all with the Crypto Minute. So let's start with the SEC. The SEC's normal tactic is to ask for an almost insurmountable amount of documentation from companies they take to court, right? So when they do this, excuse me, no, got to do the morning routine every now and then. Just saying. So in the case against Binance, they're trying to do the same thing. And the judge was like, why don't you hold on a second? Why don't you guys go play nicely together? And decided not to side with the SEC. I think this is actually a very big deal because what the court is saying is that you can't use brute force tactics to try to win before the case actually gets to court. Now, I don't know that that's going to matter because it's looking like BinanceUS is going to go out of business. Why? Because their trading volume has dropped like 98%. Just putting that out there for you. Pay attention to what's going on in that space. I'm not saying that there should be a run on the bank. I'm saying that that's exactly what the SEC wants. So yeah, no, don't give it to them. I don't actually hold a lot on Binance.us, but I do hold a little, and I'm not moving it just yet. Because if they actually do go out of business, they'll give you a time frame as to what you can do when you can do it. So that's what I'm thinking about. Now, the New York State or New York Department of Financial Services. Can you talk about a state moving backwards? I literally just told you guys last week about how, actually, I've been telling you for a long time about how the US is losing opportunity to, other countries. This is one of the ways how. So, the Department of Financial Services, also known as DFS for New York State, has a green list of cryptocurrencies that are all right in New York. XRP is not on the green list. Litecoin is not on the green list. DOGE is not on the green list. They have like, I think 8 or 9 coins that have been removed from the green list. It's diminished. They're basically saying, New York is basically saying, no, we don't want your crypto business here. I think that in the future, not even the far off future, I think in the relatively near future, you're actually going to see states that are pushing back so hard, like New York, become irrelevant. Irrelevant. Look at the mass exodus that you had from New York when the pandemic hit. That ought to tell you that there is a certain amount of people out there that are just saying, yeah, don't need to be there. Don't need to be here. So pay attention to that. So that's something that I keyed in on because I don't understand why you would be removing coins from off the list. I just don't get it. Then I also want you to pay attention to artificial intelligence. Even Google is out there saying, listen, it's not going away. It's going to be here. And you know what? It can actually be useful. So we should be paying attention to what it can do. What I'm paying attention to are the money moves in the space. SoftBank, big Japanese firm, is looking to possibly invest in OpenAI. So that's a publicly traded company. OpenAI is not, but that's a publicly traded company. They've already received, basically ideas about where they can invest. I'm also looking at other places and other opportunities to invest in. I can't invest in OpenAI, but I can invest in SoftBank. I can invest in other funds that are focused on crypto. And, for me, I would love the combination of crypto and AI, right? Well, crypto, AI, automation. Those are the three spaces that I'm looking at right now. Crypto mom. Gotta love her. Hester Peirce. She is a commissioner for the SEC, one of the commissioners at the SEC. And she's basically screaming at the top of her lungs and has been doing so for a long time. That says, there seems to be a lack of clarity in the regulatory space where crypto and digital assets are concerned. That is huge. That's huge. And the reason why I say so is because she's right. and she does not like the current tactics of the SEC, and she's voicing her opinion. That's her job. Her job is to do exactly what she's doing. There needs to be clarity. Now, on the other side, for those of us that thought the CFTC was going to come in with a more pragmatic approach, nah, these guys are gunning for DeFi. So what the SEC is doing the coins, it looks like the CFTC is gunning for the DeFi space. And I'm just sitting back and wondering why. Now, if I look back at all the news that I've done, I look back and I say, well, who's involved in DeFi? What are all the companies that are involved in DeFi? Is the CFTC going after those large firms, or is the CFTC going after smaller companies that we don't necessarily know about? Kind of clear the field kind of tactics. We shall see. But so far, it has not been a pragmatic approach to crypto and digital assets in any way, shape, or form from either agency, and I think that's a shame. Next up, NFT marketplaces are under fire. And here's why. I told you last week about Stoner Cats, right? It's a project by Mila Kunis. She's an actor, pretty good actor, and she does a web series by the same name where she voices one of the voices. And Stoner Cats is being taken to court, I believe, by the SEC. I reported this, that it's a security. Great, that's awesome. So now, marketplaces like OpenSea, Rarible have basically said, if you're a security, you can't do this and you can't be on here. So they're restricting trading. Now, I want you to stop and think about this. What does that say about all the other NFTs that are out there, that are on Rarible, that are on OpenSea and other marketplaces? What does that say about those other ones? Are you keeping those there just because they weren't named? Wouldn't that mean that it's just a matter of time before they are named? So I'm paying attention to that as well. And I think OpenSea and Rarible, as far as coins are concerned, are going to take a hit. So I'm paying attention to that. Something else that I'm paying attention to is the U.S. national debt. So they came to a small deal. They kicked the can down the road for another month. But the U.S. debt is at $33 trillion. Let me know when you're done passing out and you stand up again. I know I passed out. $33 trillion. You want to know what the national credit card debt is? Over $1 trillion. Over $1 trillion in credit card debt. When you look back, who was it? Michael Saylor? Michael Saylor came out recently and said, yeah, 3 years ago at $11,000, I bought Bitcoin. Where is it now? Where was it earlier, like last year? And you sit there and you kind of say to yourself, wow, so that it's been that long. Do you know that if you'd invested in gold and other things, you'd have lost money? Yeah, in that time frame. When I look at the national debt, when I look at credit card debt, when I look at all these things that are out there, I sit back and I go, what's been making money? What's been a great holder of value? Yeah, Bitcoin. It's been Bitcoin. Yesterday, when we were going over the numbers, I showed you how Bitcoin is up like over 60%. That's great, for year to date. That's great. But then you have others like Solana that are up, almost 100%. A couple even over 100%. And they've taken hits. I want you to pay attention to that. Something else I want you to pay attention to. I am not touching anything that has to do with Telegram. Nothing. Not their coin, not their wallet. I'm not touching it. I can get deep into why, but one of the most profound reasons why is because it seems like every account that I've heard of on Telegram is a scam. I'm not saying they're all scams, but the ones that I've come across are scams, so I'm not touching it. Somebody asked me my opinion about it, and there's my vocal opinion about it. I'm not touching anything that has to do with Telegram. Yes, the coin ton has jumped up a ton. People, sorry for the pun, people are making money off of it. I'm still not touching it. I'm not touching it at all. I'm not mucking around with their wallet either. No way in hell. Nope. Don't trust the platform. I'm not going to trust their wallet. Anyway, you know what we should do? We should get into the numbers. So let's get on over there. All right, so you can see Bitcoin is up over $27,000. It was just a few days ago that it was dipping below $25,000. Now it's over $27,000. These are the moves that I'm telling you to pay attention to. Look at Ethereum up above, nipping at 1650. It's at 1647 now, nipping at. XRP is at 50 cents. Matic is at 53 cents. These are strikeable places. This is where I want to see things going. Link is up. Chainlink. Don't sleep on Chainlink. I keep telling you, it is a part of the connective tissue of the Web3 space, and it is coming with a lot of noise. CCIP, I told you about that earlier last year, even early this year, about CCIP and how it's going to enable interoperability between platforms. That's why I keep saying pay attention to it. When you look at the bar, look at that. You see my green band? My green band goes from 26,475 to 31,580, and we are in between. We're finally over it. You want to know what my next number is? It's right there in orange, right here. It's at 2828. Those are my numbers. If we can surpass 28 and survive there, it will be a short time before we hit 30,000. Period. That's my belief. But I am paying attention to this. We're healthily over, that line of 26,475, but we need to keep going on the upward trend. It could have been the news with Binance and the SEC that have dropped things down, the news from OpenSea and Rarible that have dropped things down. But I think we're on a steady incline. I really do think we're on an incline, because we received a lot of news that could have just making us fallen tons of times. We did get below my 2511 number, but still, now we're up at 27,194. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention. You want to know something else I found interesting? This right here. This is the total value locked for crypto, and we're above that $50 billion mark. These are things I'm paying attention to. Something else I pay attention to is the fact that the fear and greed index is still steady at 46. So yes, we're in fear, but we're not in deep fear, and we're in striking distance of greed. And I think that's a good thing. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope you have a great day. If you like what I'm doing, drop me a note. Love hearing from you guys. And if you don't like what I'm doing, I really want to hear from you, because I really want to know how I can make things better. Anyway, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.